Welcome, everyone. So glad you can join me today. Thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate you. As the month of March reaches her halfway mark, winter and spring are in battle. Over the last few days, winter has been winning, and I'm not complaining. It's like the enchanting Narnia outside. I suppose my mind is like the seasons, full of thoughts that constantly compete for freedom to be shared with the world. It is a scary thing for me to share my experiences and my feelings, to expose my thoughts for anyone to criticize. Most of us feel like that, don't we? Recently, I heard the term cis syndrome, suffer in silence. And the first thing that popped into my mind was Hawthorne's classic, The Scarlet Letter. Almost immediately, the thought that followed was, I don't think people want to hear about that. You're not giving a literature lecture after all. But here I am, after several attempts at writing this, going back to it. So, Arthur Dimmesdale was a Puritan minister in 17th century Boston, loved and admired by his congregation, but he lived in private torment over his secret affair with the married Hester Prynne, who gave birth to his child. Instead of confessing, he punished himself in private. He fasted until he fainted, he whipped himself until he bled, and when she saw him again, Hester was shocked at the change in his appearance. Of course, The Scarlet Letter is a work of fiction set in a very different time from ours, but I think many of us can relate to Dimmesdale. The story got me thinking, is suffering in silence really silent? And why do we choose to do it? I believe that what we say in our minds is often louder than what we say to someone else. When I have to go downtown, I usually take the subway. There are times when the train would slow down or come to a stop before it gets to the next station. On occasion, the lights flicker. If we are still underground and all I can see are these walls in front of me and behind me, my heart starts racing, my breaths come quicker, and I can feel panic rise up within me. I think, how will I get out? The wall is just too close. I pray frantically, repeating the same words over and over in my head. Sometimes I close my eyes. The noise on the train seems so far away. Yet nothing on the outside of me betrays what was happening on the inside. If that feeling of panic happened over and over again for longer periods, something will start to show on the outside. That's my belief anyway. We see it all around us. Pent-up emotions manifesting in explosive anger, addictions, withdrawal from society, self-harm, illness, rash and irrational behavior, burnout, depression, and unfortunately, worse. Once I visited a former workplace and a co-worker said to me, "You don't look as miserable as you used to." I was taken aback. He never said this to me when I worked there, and he had always been very frank. During the time I worked at that job, there were many stressful situations to deal with year after year. I didn't realize the stress showed on my face. And you know what? I also didn't realize that those back spasms, IBS, cracked teeth, were my body saying, excuse me, hello, things are not okay here. So why do we do it? Why do so many of us keep all the trauma and the deep emotions well hidden from others? I think the answer varies as much as the things we don't share. Pride, shame, gossip, social stigmas, fear. Some of us see sharing as a lack of faith or a sign of weakness. Maybe we really think our situation is normal. There have been times when I put off praying about a situation for as long as I could. Why? Because words are powerful, and I knew the minute I started speaking, I would not be able to contain my deep emotions, and I was not ready to feel them. When I started psychotherapy, I found it to be very uncomfortable at first. I would take notes during the sessions and I wrote, "What does she keep asking me? I don't like these pattern of questions." And the long pauses, as if she was saying, "I'm just gonna wait here while you figure it out." I drew what looked like big eyes near the words long pauses. I think I was trying to make them roll. But it was then I realized that I had been keeping a lot of feelings to myself since childhood. Among other things, I saw that I was very afraid of people's reactions, especially hurtful words. I didn't like how those words made me feel. I didn't want people to know about me because it made me feel vulnerable. She created this image for me of a car or a bus driving over a big puddle and splashing water, most likely dirty, muddy water, on the people who were walking by. She made me imagine that the mud stuck to my clothes with the hurtful words that people said to me. I'm walking around with muddy clothes. I might be able to wash the clothes, but the feelings that it caused, anger, sadness, anxiety, discomfort, still remained stuck to me. I might look clean on the outside, but my mind and heart are still carrying around the mud. I have to end here because I don't want to make the videos too long, but I will continue the topic again in the next. I end with the hope that I said enough to have an impact on someone. Enough to get the conversation started about all the things that cause us chronic stress. I hope we start paying attention to how our minds and bodies are being affected. Are we behaving differently? I hope we examine what prevents us from telling someone our stories or from seeking help. Make notes if we have to. I'm a firm believer that in order to live a thriving life, we have to do the work. No one else can do it for us. I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic and look forward to continuing with it in my next video. Thank you for watching. Be well. God bless you.